So number one, हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेशन की बात करें कि हाउ न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी विल हेल्प अस इन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कैपेसिटी एडिशन. Then SMR, where coal plants can also be utilized for this. Third is um, again the chemicals, metals, fertilizers, hydrogen for energy intensive industries. We can also work out in that. And fourthly, develop a high temperature reactor for the direct hydrogen production without resorting to electrolysis, which is again a costly process. And finally, the emerging economy countries where one expects maximum net growth in energy consumption should see rapid deployment of new nuclear energy capacity to address the climate change, global warming, and obviously um, it is a national program guided by bold policy support that provides a level playing field for the nuclear energy on par with renewable energy. And obviously, as you know, that the private sector is restrained here, so we should try to rationalize that also, so as to how to incorporate them and their expertise to make us nuclear capable.
I think we can take this up also. It is not just lifestyle.
तो स्ट्रक्चरल इनइक्वालिटीज जो हैं वो हाइपरटेंशन में काफी रोल प्ले करती हैं. Obviously, when we are poor, when we are downtrodden, when we have caste-based assertions, when we have other other assertions in the name of schooling, then malnutrition. So obviously that leads to hypertension. And today, when see that everyone wants to live a standard of life, so, in search of that standard of life, a lot of tensions, a lot of hardships one needs to bear, and that leads to the incidences of hypertension. So, these high level of hypertension and better paying education of and better paying jobs had a higher probability of having their BP measured in terms in diagnosed early. So, we should reduce the health inequality. Then again in that we should fortify the food and we should provide the nutritious elements in those foods so as to prevent the malnutrition in the people. And on the disease control, we have the communicable, non-communicable diseases which are gripping the countries on a very large scale. If we talk about the diabetes and hypertension led cardiac arrest, so these should be taken into account as far as the medical strategies and national program for these communicable and non-communicable diseases are concerned. Then epigramic modifications may urge due to a lifetime of disadvantage, structural inequalities, discriminations and intergeneration influences. तो हम देख रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से ओवरऑल जो गवर्नमेंट है वो नेशनल हेल्थ फैमिली प्लान, इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम, इंद्रधनुष प्रोग्राम, जन औषधि योजना, जन आरोग्य योजना, various multiple steps the government is taking, and obviously the states are also taking in under their jurisdiction multiple steps in this regard. So inflows into the equity mutual funds drop 30%. This is just news. So yeah, we have done it. So ONGC Videsh Oil Limited. So ONGC is considered as a very reputed PSU as far as the oil sector is concerned, and it is interested in oil and gas exploration in Sri Lanka. So what we were talking in the editorial page of the Hindu newspapers, that how to leverage the Sri Lanka into India's account, is that we can also work out in the oil and gas exploration, and where obviously RPSU is working a lot of steps. So geologically, the island nation and its offshore areas are quite similar to the part of southern India, especially the Tamil Nadu and the Kerala, and it is enabling them to participate in the island countries super stream in the petroleum sector. But let's see that is this gonna be a play game between Sri Lanka and India, or Sri Lanka allows China also? That is, we have to wait and watch. The US arms start lending to boost Israel war moves. So obviously the US weapons are getting into the Israel territory, the US armies are getting into the Israel territories to provide support to the Israel. And obviously, US is known since the ages as a helping hand of Israel in providing them intelligence, military support, arms and ammunition. And obviously, as we see that it is a um, disputed area where three different religions have been proclaimed, and that is a major cause of these troubles. So why Gaza is called the world's biggest open air prison? After Hamas on Sunday launched the biggest attack on the Israel um, Gaza Strip, it is a strip of land merged west between the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Israel to north, east, and Egypt to the south in Gaza. तो 20 लाख पैलेस्टीनियंस यहाँ पर रहते हैं एंड जैसा कि हम देखते हैं कि ये बहुत ही डिस्प्यूटेड टेरिटोरियल स्पेस रहा है conditions created by occupation blockade have led. So actually the main problem is that there are some people who says that Israel should try to recognize the rights of Palestine over these territories because actually if we talk in the rational terms the Palestinians are the original native of this area. But the irony is Israel can't go with this. It's not because Israel's sovereignty will be subsidized, but it is because once it is done by the Israel, the Palestinian will assert itself as a sovereign state and whole the Arab community, whole the Arab world will actually provide a detrimental challenge to Israel and they will say that Israel should now be not recognized as a sovereign state because according to Arab world, Israel is not a sovereign state and according to Israel and most of the other countries, Palestine is not a sovereign state. So obviously this matter is a very grave concern. अगर हम बात करें 1994 की तो यहाँ पर इजराइल ने बिल्ड किया 60 किलोमीटर फेंस along its border with Gaza with sensors, remote controlled machine guns and obviously normally we see that cross border infiltrations होती हैं जहाँ पर जो आर्मीज हैं both the sides they do take a lot of strict actions. So देखते हैं क्या रहता है and how new royalty rates for strategic minerals can help cut their imports. The Centre has approved an amendment to key law in order to specify the competitive royalty rates in the mining of three strategically significant materials, lithium, niobium, and rare earth elements. ये decision आया है to move 6 minerals including lithium, niobium from the list of specified atomic minerals which would set the stage for participation of the private sector. So definitely this is a good step as far as the private expertise are concerned and their utilization into the nation building. Ease of using of mining leases, composite license दिए जाएंगे. Lithium is a vital ingredient for the lithium-based ion batteries that is currently used in the e-vehicles, laptops, and mobile phones. And obviously, we also import a lot from China-based countries, so that will reduce the balance of payment prices and will improve our financial conditions, especially on the international level. It will pave the way for the commercial exploitation, and we will be able to lead the export also in this. Push for lithium क्यों है? The domestic exploration post goes beyond the J&K Jammu and Kashmir exploration जहां पर हमें लिथियम के एक्सट्रैक्ट मिले हैं राजस्थान में मिले हैं गुजरात में मीका वेल्स इन उड़ीसा एंड छत्तीसगढ़ में मिले हैं and India is a late mover in this lithium value chain which should be recognized and should be further which should not be aggravated further. We should utilize this. And another hurdle in this value chain is EV supply chain used in motors, not in the batteries, permanent magnet, motor use magnet. Neodymium, terbium, dysprosium are other elements of this, but it is poorly regulated, meaning can produce wastewater ponds filled with acids, heavy metals, radioactive materials that might seep into the groundwater and will lead to groundwater pollution. Niobium is used for the alloys. Niobium is a silver metal with a layer of oxide on its surface, which makes it resistant to corrosion. And obviously, this is very much important as far as the automobile industry is concerned. Engines, beams, grinders for building oil and gas pipelines. So, culminate with found in Canada, Brazil, Australia, and Nigeria. So, India should also take a lead and should become a determinant player into this lithium-based value chain and strategic mineral value chain.
I think it's all for the day, Pravesh. We can end it up here.
Okay, so thank you so much and keep watching the Ansarkari. Stay with us. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.